Good evening and welcome to Timberwolves football from Timberwolves Stadium. I'm Lindy Peters from MendocinoTV.com and the Skunk FM. We're all set for another exciting high school football game here at Timberwolves Stadium under the lights. Tonight, it's the Kelseyville Knights under their new head coach, Mike McGuire. They are 0-2 in league play. The Timberwolves are 1-1 as we get ready to go here. Now, the JVs just beat the Kelseyville JVs by a score of 20-0. It was another great game for quarterback Kaylor Sullivan. The sophomore is looking great out there at quarterback for the JVs, and they rebound from a tough loss at Middletown last week. So get set. It's the Fort Bragg Timberwolves against the Kelseyville Knights. Exciting high school football action. We'll continue with the pregame show in just a moment. I'm Lindy Peters for MendocinoTV.com and the Skunk FM. It's a little chilly tonight. I got my gloves on, but we're ready to rock. The Timberwolves and the Kelseyville Knights coming up. All right, we're back now with the pregame show. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We're rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM Saturday morning, and you can watch the video anytime, anywhere that you have a video device that can stream on MendocinoTV.com. The Kelseyville Knights are in town tonight under the lights here at Timberwolves Stadium. They have a new coach. Mike McGuire's their new coach, but he's not a new coach. He's been coaching for 28 years. 27 of those years spent down in the Riverside area, and this is his first year here at Kelseyville with the Knights. They have a couple of outstanding skill players, running backs. One of them is Kevin Duty. He'll be wearing number 8. He is right now the leading scorer in the area here in the Redwood Empire for this size school. And also back in the backfield with him, Robert McLean. He'll be wearing number 11. Those two are not only some of the top rushers in terms of yardage gain, but also some of the top 2 scorers. They're the 2 skill players you have to watch for the Knights. Again, that's McLean and Duty. They have a fine defensive lineman, too, who goes on offense. He'll be wearing number 77. His name is Cody McGuire, 6'3", 280 pounds. He's being recruited by the University of Oregon, and he's just a junior. Now, the Kelseyville Knights are big. They've got a big team. They run a multiple set offense and a multiple set defense. So the Timberwolves are going to have their hands full both on offense and defense. Don't let the record fool you. Kelseyville is 0-2. They've lost to St. Helena, who have a great team again. They also lost a very close game to Cloverdale. So expect a good game tonight from the Kelseyville Knights under their new coach, Mike McGuire. Now let's talk about the Fort Bragg Timberwolves. They are healthy this week. Zach Smith is ready to go. He's been nursing that knee injury since it was injured against McKinleyville in early on this season, but slowly but surely he's been getting better and better. He's pretty much at full strength this week. Also, he'll be joined by Tyler Ashby back at quarterback. Remember, he was disqualified from last game due to the fact that he'd been thrown out of the game before that, and against Lower Lake, that means you're automatically ineligible for the following game. Even though paperwork wasn't filed, there was a little bit of controversy there. The commissioner, Gil Lemon, stepped in and said that he would be ineligible for that game against Middletown, and they certainly missed him. They got thumped pretty good, 42-0 their last time out. So the Timberwolves are 1-1 in league play right now. They beat Lower Lake, and they lost last week to Middletown, but they are at pretty much full strength. Like I said, Tyler Ashby will be back at quarterback and in his safety position on defense, and Zach Smith is pretty much at full strength as well. They are missing 2 players. Scooty Titus, who injured his ankle against Middletown, will not suit up tonight. He's been a good blocking back for Zach Smith. And also not suiting up is Raymond Ritchie. Now, Ritchie had been playing defensive end. He hurt his knee a couple of games ago, and they miss him on defense, that's for sure. He was having a good year. So we'll see what happens. We're all set to go here. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. It's high school football under the lights, and it is chilly tonight. This is definitely the coldest weather we've had. It's clear, that much I'll say, but the frost is on the pumpkin. It is October. For MendocinoTV.com and the Skunk FM, I'm Lindy Peters. Get set. High school football action from Timberwolves Stadium is coming up. All right, we're getting set now for the coin toss. Tyler Ashby, Brian Beckman, Ty Vaughn, and Zach Smith are out there for the Fort Bragg Timberwolves. They're wearing their home purple with their white numerals and gray pants. Kelseyville wearing their white road jerseys, and they've got black pants and orange trim. You might remember in years past, Kelseyville had the nickname the Indians. And I'm just going to say it right up front before this game starts. I might slip and call them the Indians because for years they were the Indians. But I guess 5 years ago, in a move for political correctness, they became the Kelseyville Knights. And that's how you'll know them now from this point on, the Kelseyville Knights. And they're out there. Kevin Duty, one of the co-captains. Along with him out there is Mark Erickson. Can't see the other numbers obscured right now. But anyway, we're waiting for the coin toss and getting set to go. Now, Coach Roy Perkins, talking to him before the game, feels pretty good. He says there's a couple of players he's got to stop. Those two I mentioned previously in this pregame show, Kevin Duty and Robert McLean. Those are the two big guns, the skilled players to watch out for Kelseyville. The Timberwolves, of course, you've got Zach Smith, and with Tyler Ashby back in the starting lineup now, Kelseyville has won the toss, and they have elected to kick off. The Timberwolves then will receive the football, and we'll see which direction they're going as we get set for the national anthem. But we're just about ready to go. I'm Lindy Peters. We're rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM, and you're watching the video on MendocinoTV.com. We're set for a good game tonight. Again, Kelseyville looking for their first league win. Don't let their 0-2 record fool you. One of those losses was to a powerful team from St. Helena. The Timberwolves also 1-1. They beat Lower Lake, but they got beat by the other powerhouse in the NCL1 this year, that being the Middletown Mustangs. So we're set to go. This should be a great game. We're going to take a short time out here during the national anthem. We'll be back with exciting high school football action, and the kickoff is coming up. All right, we're getting set to go. A nice job on the national anthem by the Fort Bragg Choir. We had a little trouble getting the audio on the national anthem a few games ago, so we sort of decided not to do it. But I tell you what, if we can get audio like we just heard off the air there, we might have to include that because they did an outstanding job on the national anthem. All right, the Fort Bragg Timberwolves gathered around head coach Roy Perkins, fired up. He told me they're emotionally ready for this game. They were a little down last week at Middletown. Not only a long road trip, but without their starting quarterback and captain Tyler Ashby, they just didn't feel right on the field. And this has been a good week of practice. They're going to receive the opening kickoff. Zach Smith and Nathan Johnson back to receive it. Kelseyville still around their coach on the far sideline. Coach McGuire getting ready to send them out. We're ready for some high school football action. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Watching them warm up, quarterback Noah Lindahl looked pretty good throwing the football. And like I said, Kelseyville does have multiple set offense. So the Timberwolves, who have seen a lot of spread, a lot of pistol, a lot of read option this year, a lot of no huddle, for a matter of fact, probably feels pretty good about what they're going to see on offense and defense. It's not going to be as confusing as it has been. So we're all set to go. Here comes the kickoff. There's the kick. It's a short kick, almost like an onside kick, and it is out of bounds. Boy, that was almost an onside kick recovered by Kelseyville. Preston Hurt was down there. They were trying to keep it away, I'm sure, from Zach Smith, the return man, but instead it goes out of bounds. That'll be a pretty good start for the Timberwolves, where they mark it here after the kickoff went out of bounds. I believe they'll have it on their own 45. I think that's where you mark it when it's kicked out of bounds. Let's wait and see. High school rules a little bit different than the NFL or college football when it comes to a kickoff going out of bounds. So there is no kick because it did go 10 yards kicking out of bounds. So the flag was thrown, but no penalty. And it is going to start right about where I mentioned, just shy of the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves. They have the ball at their own 44. Just underway. They play 12-minute quarters. Because that ball was kicked out of bounds, no time went off the clock. The clock, of course, doesn't start until an offensive player touches the football. So here we go. 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves as Tyler Ashby back in action, brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Devin Morgan splits to the right. Nathan Johnson slotted inside him on the right side. Zach Smith in the backfield to the left, goes in motion. They give to Smith right side. And he tries to get outside, and as he stretches it out, he is hit and stopped. No gain on the play that time as Julius Nelson was in there along with the interior part of the Kelseyville defense. In fact, a loss on the play as Smith lost about 4 yards. It'll set up 2nd down and 14. Smith started on the left that time, took the handoff and went around the right side. He's had a little trouble getting outside the last couple of games because the teams know about him, and they are definitely keying on him. This time 3 men split to the right, Vaughn, Morgan, and Shane Tupper. Smith, the lone back in the backfield in the tailback position behind Tyler Ashby. Johnson split out right as Ashby takes a snap, fakes to Smith, maybe a mix-up that time. Tyler's going to keep it around the left side, trying to get outside, and he's dropped for a loss. The Timberwolves unable to get outside the first 2 plays as Jonathan Smith came up and made the stop that time from his safety position. No gain or maybe another loss of about a yard. It's going to set up 3rd and 15 as the Timberwolves tried to go outside to the right, tried to go outside to the left, and were thrown for losses on each play. The Knights with a big defensive line anchored by Cody McGuire, the big defensive tackle. So the Timberwolves now 3rd and long. Ball back at their own 34-yard line. Or 38-yard line, that is. I'll get it right. They started on their own 39, not their own 44, so it's now 3rd and 15 from their own 34. Just underway, 10:33 to go, first quarter. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. There's a timeout on the field. After we successfully spotted where the football is, we'll be back with this big third down play. Okay, after the timeout, it's 3rd and 15, the ball at the 34-yard line. The Timberwolves have to get to just about midfield to get a first down. Ashby up to the line of scrimmage, sends 2 men split to the right. Smith the lone back, Johnson in the slot left side. Johnson goes in motion. He's back to pass, looking to his right, rolling. He's being fleshed out of the pocket, throws deep. Got a man wide open. It's Devin Morgan who makes the catch at the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Timberwolves. No penalty flags, and boy, it's nice to see Tyler Ashby back on the field. Devin Morgan got way behind because, again, it looked like Ashby might be running on that play, and the defensive backs came up, leaving Morgan back behind him. Ashby put it right between the numbers, and Devin Morgan, well, he only has a number 4, put it right there on the number 4, and he ran right into the end zone. Touchdown, Timberwolves. About a 66-yard touchdown pass, and the Timberwolves are up on the scoreboard with 10:20 to go, first quarter, 6-0, as River Saunders comes out for the extra point. Ashby to hold. There's the snap, spots down, the kick is up, it's got the distance, and it is good. And I'll tell you what, River Saunders has been kicking very well for the Timberwolves, especially the last few games. Not that he didn't start off with a tremendous boom, but he's been getting better and better every week. And that's good to see. So the Timberwolves, with 10:20 to go in the first quarter, score on a 66-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Ashby to Devin Morgan. It's Fort Bragg 7, Kelseyville nothing. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this. All right, we're back with the kickoff. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. I heard Coach Perkins telling his team on the field before the game warming up, don't kick it to number 8 and don't kick it to number 11. Well, back to receive are both of them, Duty and McLean, so maybe Saunders will have a short kick. Instead, he kicks a low grounder. It's picked up at the 8-yard line, up to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, trying to get outside at the 20-yard line, comes across to the 25 and is dropped just short of the 30-yard line. That was Kevin Duty, the return man. And he took a pretty good lick and gets right back up. So Kelseyville will have it 1st and 10 on offense. The ball right at their own 30-yard line. Noah Lindahl at quarterback. Just a sophomore. That's a familiar name to people who go back in Kelseyville high school history. Brings him up to the line of scrimmage. McLean and Duty in the backfield. 2 men split way out to the left. And the give is to McLean, and he gets by one man, stiff arms another, and gets a first down across the 40-yard line out to the 41-yard line. Nice run to the left side that time by Robert McLean. One thing the Timberwolves defense has had trouble with this year is outside containment, and right away, McLean with a tough run got outside to the left and got a first down. So the Knights have it 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line. We're just underway first quarter, 7-0 Fort Bragg. Again, 2 men split way out here to the right. That's Julius Nelson, and along with him is David Simonson. And there's a fumble in the backfield on the handoff, and Zach Smith can't get it as he tried to pick it up and run with it. Now the Timberwolves dive, and I think they've got it. Smith made the mistake of trying to get up and run with the football. He didn't pick up the fumble, but it was recovered. Fort Bragg has got it in decent field position as Kevin Duty unable to get the handoff from Lindahl that time. Martinez was the man who recovered the fumble for the Timberwolves, and they've got it 1st and 10 at the Kelseyville 28-yard line. So the first turnover of the game goes to Fort Bragg. Just a miscommunication there, the handoff to Duty that time, and then Zach Smith was there, and boy, he had his eye on the end zone. He was going to try and pick up that fumble and keep running, and for a moment it looked like Duty was going to be able to recover it. If you're watching the video, you saw that, and then he wasn't able to get it, but Martinez, who's had a great year so far for the Timberwolves. The only thing I'll say about him is he seems to change his number a lot. He was 21, then he was 64. Tonight he's 51. He never seems to be in the program, but he's done an outstanding job for the Timberwolves. Jesse Martinez, he recovers the fumble. Now Shane Tupper splits way out to the right. Smith is in the backfield. Ty Vaughn in the backfield with him. They are split behind Ashby at quarterback. 2 men split out to the left, including Devin Morgan. First and 10, the Timberwolves. Tyler Ashby. Back to pass. Again, it looks like a broken play. I think it was going to be a draw play, but instead Ashby had to take off, but he gets some positive yardage up to about the 25-yard line, about a 3-yard gain. It'll be second down and 7. It looked as though Ashby was ready to hand off on a draw, and that's twice that it almost appears as though there's been some miscommunication in the backfield for the Timberwolves, and Ashby's had to take off running himself. I'm not sure those were designed runs by the quarterback. Clock ticking, 9:06 to go. We're just underway, first quarter. If you just joined us here on the Skunk FM, the Timberwolves drew first blood on a 66-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Ashby to Devin Morgan. They lead 7-0. Second down and 7 at the 25. Ashby gives it to Smith. Left side, and Smith gets across the 25 down to about the 23-yard line. Just a short gain, maybe picked up 2 off tackle. Just a quick hit play that time on the left side. And it'll be third down and about 4 now for the Timberwolves. They have it at the 22-yard line. They have to get to about the 18-yard line to get a first down. The Knights right now, Coach McGuire runs a multiple set defense, both a 3-4 and a 4-3. This time it looks like he has 3 down linemen and the linebackers to the outside on either side. Ashby in shotgun formation this time. Gives it to Smith. Fakes it to Smith, gives it instead to Tyvon on the end around, and he gets across the 20 to the 19. He's going to be short of the first down. It looked like that play was going to get more yardage than it did. Depends where they mark it, but I believe he's going to be short by about 2 yards, so it's going to be fourth down and about 2. The ball right at the 20-yard line. Smith made the tackle for Kelseyville. And the Timberwolves in 4-down territory at the 20-yard line of the Knights are going to go for it. 7:47 to go, first quarter. Fort Bragg leading 7-0. This time Tupper way out to the right. Slotted inside of him on the right side is Tyvon. 2 men split out left. Basically a spread formation like the pistol formation with Ashby at quarterback and Smith the lone back with him. They try and get Kelseyville offsides. They don't. They give it to Smith. He's trying to get outside. McLean chases him down. Then Smith dives and gets the first down with a beautiful dive down to about the 16-yard line. You got a good shot of Zach Smith if you're watching this on MendocinoTV.com. He did that all by himself. McLean tried to chase him down from behind. He's fast, but he couldn't get Smith. But then Smith, trying to turn the corner, had to dive for the first down, and he got it. First and 10, Timberwolves at the 16-yard line. Nice, exciting play that time. So Fort Bragg leading 7-0. Once again, have it in the red zone. First and 10, the ball at the Kelseyville 16-yard line as Ashby brings him up, and Johnson splits way out to the left, backs in the I formation behind Ashby. He gives to Smith, second man through, going left side, and picks up some tough yardage down inside the 10, down to about the 9-yard line, about a 6-yard gain, setting up second down and 4. That time they spread Johnson, the wide receiver, way out to the left, and then Smith, following the blocking of his line on the left side, picked up some good yardage. So the Knights, who only had the football for a couple of plays on offense, have the Timberwolves deep in their own territory now. Fort Bragg at the Kelseyville 10-yard line. And again, in the shotgun, running that spread formation, the Timberwolves with Ashby at quarterback and Smith the lone back with him. Ashby, that is, takes a snap and tries to run it by himself, but he's tackled that time. A nice tackle from David Simonson. Came in from his outside linebacker position, which basically lines up as a defensive end in this 3-4 defense they have set up right now. Made the stop for a loss back to the 14-yard line. So a nice defensive play by Simonson for Kelseyville, setting up third down and 8 now for the Timberwolves. 5:55 to go, first quarter. Fort Bragg out in front, 7-0. There's that spread formation again. Morgan and Johnson out to the left. Now Johnson comes back into the backfield for the Timberwolves. He's split with Smith behind Ashby, and Morgan comes up to the tight end on the left side. 2 men split to the right. Ashby rolling to his right, back to pass, in trouble, throws a lob pass. It's jumped and incomplete. Shane Tupper jumped for it in the left or right corner of the end zone, unable to get there, so it sets up fourth down. And the Timberwolves now with the ball at the 17-yard line might send out Saunders for the field goal attempt. And it looks like that's what they're doing. Number 80, River Saunders, trots out to the huddle. This field goal attempt will be from about the 25-yard line, so it'll be a 35-yard field goal, which in high school is a long one, and it's going to be set on the hash mark on the left side. So Saunders will try a long field goal here now for the Timberwolves on fourth down. Ashby to hold from the left hash mark as Saunders sets up. He's got a long ways to go, and he's got to angle it. There's the snap. The spot's down. The kick is up. It's going to be short, well short to the right. And the Timberwolves unable to capitalize that time. Saunders, who I just had mentioned was kicking well in practice, unable to get a good kick that time. So with 5:31 to go in first quarter, Kelseyville has to feel pretty good. They stopped the Timberwolves that time. And Fort Bragg with a 7-0 lead sends their defense out on the field. Defensively, Ty Vaughn's been playing very well for Fort Bragg. Ashby also in the backfield, back on defense now, does a good job. Kelseyville comes up to the line of scrimmage. Lindahl at quarterback. McLean in the backfield. Double tight end formation. They give it to McLean, right side, and a nice defensive stop that time, although he did pick up close to 5 yards, out to about the 25-yard line. After the missed field goal, the Knights got the ball at about the 20-yard line. Call it a 4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6. The ball just short of the 25 at the 24. We're in the first quarter, 7-0, Fort Bragg with the lead. For some reason, the clock has stopped. The official blows his whistle saying, come on, get the clock started. There it goes. It's a crisp night here at Timberwolves Stadium, a nice night for football, good home crowd for the Timberwolves. The Knights up to the line of scrimmage. 2 men in the backfield behind Lindahl. 1 man now comes in motion, and they fake to him. They give instead to McLean, left side, trying to stretch it out, trying to get outside. Gets outside, gets a good block. Tupper trying to chase him down out of bounds and does, but not before the Kelseyville Knights get a first down. The man in motion that time was Julius Nelson, and he put on a good block that got McLean outside, and a big pickup that time as he gets it all the way out to the 36-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Kelseyville at their own let's call it the 37-yard line. 7-0 Fort Bragg leading. First quarter action, Lindy Peters. We're rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM Saturday morning. Thanks for joining us, and you're watching video on MendocinoTV.com. Again, a double tight end formation for the Knights, and I believe they just didn't get set. Your line has to get set. They did a quick snap that time trying to catch the defense of the Timberwolves off guard, but instead I believe it's going to be it's offsides against Fort Bragg. I'm surprised at that call. The Timberwolves offside, so 5 yards against Fort Bragg. Up to the 42-yard line it comes. It'll be 1st and 5. In high school football and in any football, you have to come set for just a second when you come up to the line of scrimmage, and it almost looked like Kelseyville came up to the line of scrimmage and sort of quick counted that football. But no, Fort Bragg was called for offsides. 2 men split way out here to the right now for the Knights. Lindahl fumbles the snap, falls right on top of it that time, so it's going to set up 2nd down and about a 2-yard loss at the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 7. So not too bad of a play. If you are going to fumble the football, it's better to do it on 1st and 5, and of course it's better if you recover your own fumble, which Lindahl did. So Kelseyville trailing 7-0 with the ball now at their own 40-yard line. There's a Timberwolves defense. Waits for them to break out of the huddle. Lindahl goes to the sideline, gets the play, comes back into the Knights huddle. The Knights with a good-sized football team, and what do we got? For some reason, the wrong football is out there. Kelseyville and Fort Bragg, whoever is on offense gets to have their own football out on the field. I think Kelseyville has their football. They recovered the fumble, but anyway, they replaced the football at the line of scrimmage. And so we have sort of a break in the action here as the officials try and figure out which football they should be using. In case you're unaware of how it works, each team on offense, I mean, they're the same type of football, obviously. One isn't any different than the other in terms of its legality. It's just that each team is able to choose the football they want to use on offense. And so Kelseyville had recovered the fumble, and apparently the Timberwolves football ended up out there. So now they've sorted it out. Kelseyville has it. 2nd down and 7, the ball at their own 40-yard line. Lindahl gets a guy in motion, Nelson. That usually means the play is going to come right side. The Timberwolves jump off sides. So another 5-yard penalty against Fort Bragg as Ferreira jumped off sides that time, and they'll get 5 more yards. It'll come out to the 45-yard line, setting up 2nd down and short. The last time Kelseyville sent a man in motion, Nelson, they went and ran the play to the side of the field where he was coming in motion with McLean running outside, and that's how they picked up a first down a few plays back. So the ball at the 45-yard line, 2nd down and 2 as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Two men split out here to the right. McLean splits out to the left as Duty is the lone back behind him. Now McLean comes in motion, and they give it to McLean, coming around the right side, and he is stopped. Smith is in there on the stop. Also in there on the stop for the Timberwolves was Sam Perkins. Perkins, a sophomore, gets to start at defensive lineman this time. He's going both ways now, offense and defense. So timeout looks like for a measurement. They're close to the first down. To me, and I'm a long ways away, and my eyes aren't that good, but it looks as though he has it. But they're going to bring it out now, and that gives us a little break in the action here. We want to thank you for joining us. This is MendocinoTV.com on the internet and the Skunk FM. I'm Lindy Peters. We are broadcasting this game, rebroadcasting it on the radio Saturday mornings, and our pleasure to do so. It's definitely one of those community-minded efforts. Our thanks to Terry Vaughn, and our thanks to Hoot Hooten back there at the Skunk for recognizing the importance of bringing local community radio here into your homes or cars or wherever you might be listening. Clock now running down to 4 minutes to go. First quarter, Fort Bragg leading 7-0. Kelseyville with a first down after that measurement. Three men split out to the left this time as Lindahl is over center. Now McLean comes in motion. The give instead is to Duty right up the middle, and he's breaking free to the 40, to the 30, to the 20. He could go all the way. He's in. Touchdown Kelseyville. They put McLean in motion and faked it to him, and the defense started trying to get that outside containment, and instead they gave it to Duty right up the middle, and I don't even think he got touched. And it's pretty rare when you run up the middle and don't get touched. But that time the game swings the other way for the Kelseyville Knights as they score on a 55-yard touchdown run. Kevin Duty, senior, 6'1", 210-pounder. And it's 7-6 as the Knights see if they go for two and try and take the lead here. They're in the huddle, so it looks like they're coming up for a two-point conversion, and indeed they are. So the Timberwolves need a stop here. Two men split left. Man comes in motion from the right. Now he sets in the slot left side. Another man comes in motion. They try a long, strong count to try and draw the Timberwolves off sides, and instead, Kelseyville calls a timeout. So there's a timeout on the field. The Knights have just scored. It's 7-6 Fort Bragg, 3:45 to go first quarter. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, MendocinoTV.com. We'll take a timeout. Come back with this extra point in just a moment. All right, we're back now as the Timberwolves defense trying to hold Kelseyville here, who apparently are going to try a two-point conversion. Fort Bragg leading 7-6. Kelseyville has just scored. Lindahl at quarterback at the back split, gives it to McLean, and he is in as he drives himself in, and the Knights have taken a lead. It's Kelseyville 8, Fort Bragg 7. 3:45 to go first quarter. Once again, we'll take a little break here, but I'll mention before the kickoff that the Timberwolves had recovered a fumble down in Kelseyville territory, and they went for it on fourth down and couldn't convert that first down, or they tried a field goal, that is, and it was no good. And Kelseyville, after that, seemed to fire up, went right down and scored a touchdown. So we got us a ball game tonight. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with the kickoff here in just a moment. All right, we're back. Thomas Graham is going to tee it up for Kelseyville, and the Timberwolves will send Smith and Johnson deep to receive. They're both good return men, but the first kickoff for Kelseyville was just a little squibber that almost looked like an onside kick, but I think basically they were just trying to keep it away from the return men for the Timberwolves. So let's see what Graham does this time. And again, just a little pooch kick, and the Timberwolves, an up man picks it up, gets across the 40, up to the 41-yard line, and that is Jesse Martinez, who got the kickoff that time, and obviously the Knights aren't going to kick it deep. So Fort Bragg with the ball at their own 43-yard line. First and 10. Coming up, trailing now 8-7. We're in the first quarter, 3:39 to go. Fort Bragg, who scored on a 66-yard touchdown pass from Ashby to Devin Morgan, now behind by 1 point. Ashby at the line of scrimmage, sends Smith in motion, gives to Smith right side. Can he get outside? Nope. He's hit at the 40, but he breaks a tackle and then goes out of bounds, and a flag comes flying in at midfield, and that's usually not very good. Looks like there might be a holding or a blocking in the back call against the Timberwolves. So this will probably come back after Smith had picked up about 7 to midfield. And it is going to be against Fort Bragg. Depending on the penalty, sometimes they're marked from where the penalty occurred rather than the line of scrimmage. There's that holding call. So it is 10 yards from the spot of the foul, but that'll bring it back to the 36-yard line. And right away, Fort Bragg has put themselves in the hole here. It's going to be first down and about 16 yards to go. They got to get across midfield to the 47-yard line for a first down. They have the ball back at their own 36-yard line. Ashby at shotgun now as they come up to the line of scrimmage. 8-7, Kelseyville with the lead. Nathan Johnson starts left, comes back, sets up here now on the left side, wide out. Ashby gives to Smith, trying to get across the left side, and he is stopped by the interior part of the Kelseyville line. Tyler Rewert's on the stop. Cody McGuire also down there, the defensive tackle. He's listed at 6'3", 280 pounds. I'll tell you what, as I mentioned before this game started, Kelseyville, very big team. They almost look like a college team. And if you're watching the video, you can see it. They certainly are noticeably larger than the Timberwolves. All right, it'll be second down and 15. Ashby back to pass. Rolling to his left. He's got a man behind him in pursuit, and he hits him, and Ashby fumbles. Duty with the tackle that time, and Ashby fumbles. He didn't see him and got hit blindside, and the Knights pick it up at the 40-yard line. Ashby was rolling to his left that time and was hit from behind from his blind side. I guess he didn't realize Duty was in pursuit. Both Duty and McLean are very fast, and Ashby, though he's got some good wheels, unable to get away that time. So the Knights will take over first and 10, and that penalty really hurt the Timberwolves there. It basically wiped out a 7-yard gain and set up a long situation to get a first down and set up a passing situation, and there you have it. So the Knights, first and 10. Strong formation to the left. They run that way with McLean. He's trying to get outside, trying to chase him down and make it a nice stop that time for the Timberwolves as McLean tried to stiff arm him. But Tupper was there to make the stop as he had good outside containment, and that's what the Timberwolves have to do. Their outside containment has been, I just have to be honest, it's been very weak this year. But that time Tupper did a fine job, and that's what you need to do. Get in there, make the guy either go inside of you or bring him down. So second and 10, the ball still at the 40-yard line of the Timberwolves after the fumble recovery by Kelseyville. Johnson gives it right up the middle this time, and the stop is made as Duty, that same play that scored a touchdown, went nowhere this time. In on the stop was Tyler Moorhead for the Timberwolves.
Number 8, Kevin Duty, the ball carrier.
Also in on the stop with was Brian Beckman. So that's going to set up third down. They gain maybe a yard. Third down at about 9. The ball at the Timberwolves 39-yard line. First quarter, 8-7. Kelseyville with the lead. 1:36 to go here in this first quarter. Timberwolves scored first. Kelseyville answered with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and they have the lead. So third down now. There's the give to McLean, left side, and he's going to get close to the first down, but he's going to be short. They could be in 4-down territory. It's up to about the 34-yard line. It's going to set up fourth down and about 4 or 5 yards to go. But they're at the Timberwolves 34-yard line, so usually at the high school level this involves a fourth down play. And I guess they're going to go for it. As Lindahl comes back from the sideline into the huddle, and now the Timberwolves have to watch for the offsides here. They might be doing a hard count to try and draw them offsides. Instead, they go with a quick count. That's McLean trying to left side, dives forward. He's got the first down. Just across the 30-yard line to the 29, and that's where he needed to go. And that'll set up a first down for Kelseyville. Ashby came up to make the stop for the Timberwolves. Well, actually, they're going to do a measurement. He dove across the 30-yard line again. It's a long ways from my spot here. He's on the far hash mark, but it appears from here that they do have the first down because the first down marker is just inside the 30, and the ball looks like it's past where the marker is. But they'll bring out and do a measurement here. 26 seconds to go, first quarter. It's Kelseyville 8, Fort Bragg 7. This is a big measurement. If it's short, then the Timberwolves will have the football. And it's a first down. And again, that seemed to me as though that was going to be the result of that measurement. It was. So 1st and 10, Kelseyville. The ball at the 30 or at the 29-yard line of Fort Bragg. That'll probably end the first quarter. They might get one more play off. 22 seconds to go. Kelseyville 8, Fort Bragg 7. The Knights up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to try and get this play off as Lindahl over quarterback. 2 men split behind him, Duty and McLean. Nelson comes in motion. They give to Duty, left side. Johnson misses a tackle, and then he's knocked out of bounds that time by Smith, I think. But he picked up about 7 yards. With 5 seconds to go, the clock stops as he goes out of bounds. And Kelseyville able to run the football so far. Ball down to about the 22-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd down and about 3, a 7-yard pickup that time from Duty. 5 seconds to go here in this first quarter. Kelseyville 8, Fort Bragg 7. So Kelseyville up to the line of scrimmage. Get this play off. Duty and McLean back behind Lindahl. He gives it to Duty. Right up the middle he goes again, and he's all the way in. Touchdown Kelseyville. And you hear the buzzer go. The quarter ends. But they'll keep it here and try the extra point. So it's now 14-7 Kelseyville as Duty goes in for the touchdown. Both times going right up the middle, taking advantage of that. Behind that huge offensive line of the Knights. So Fort Bragg able to score first, take a 7-0 lead. After this, it's been all Kelseyville. Although the Timberwolves did have another golden opportunity recovering a fumble deep in Kelseyville territory, but they were unable to get any points out of it. And now they find themselves trailing 14-7. The Knights will go for 2 here. This is an untimed down after the quarter ended. Extra point always is anyway. They give it to Duty, and again he's in left side, just taking advantage of the big blocking again on the offensive line, going right up the middle. And the Kelseyville Knights lead it here at the end of the first quarter. It's Kelseyville 16, Fort Bragg 7. Could be another long night for the Timberwolves. We'll find out. Stick around. I'm Lindy Peters, rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM, and you're watching the video on MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this. All right, we're back here as we get set for the kickoff. Kelseyville has kicked it off 3 times now, and each time they've just kicked a short little kick, trying to stay away from the return men, Zach Smith and Nathan Johnson. Well, when you're playing a defensive line or when you're on defense and the offensive line is definitely outsizing you, one of the best techniques is to go low, to go really low. In fact, almost do a bear crawl or dive and roll to basically cut down the blockers so the running back doesn't have a giant hole. But so far the Timberwolves seem to be standing up a little bit at the defensive line, and you can't do that against a bigger line. If you stand up, they're going to knock you back, and that's what's been happening. There's again a short little kick. It's picked up by Smith as he comes up to the 30 to take it to the 35, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and is brought down. It looked like a face mask, although no call, all the way out to the 44-yard line. So a nice return from Smith. He shows his toughness. And the Timberwolves have it 1st and 10, the ball at their own 44-yard line. They need to get something going on offense. It's 16-7 Kelseyville. We're just underway second quarter. Again, it's easy to coach from up here when you're watching a game as well, so I don't mean to belittle the Timberwolves' play so far, but they're getting blown off the line of scrimmage. There's no question about it. Ashby in the shotgun now. Ashby's going to keep it himself, left side, and there's about 5 Knights right there to greet him, and it's going to be a loss of about 2 yards. So offensively and defensively, the line of scrimmage is in complete control of Kelseyville right now. About a 2-yard loss, 2nd down and 12. And under these type of circumstances, again, you'd like to see maybe a screen play, a swing pass, something to take advantage of their aggressiveness. Kind of a football Tai Chi move, if you will, where you let them take themselves out of the play. Because right now, we're getting blown away at the line of scrimmage. Again, out of the shotgun, Ashby has the Timberwolves up to the line of scrimmage. And this time, there it is, a little swing pass out to Ty Vaughn. And he picks up some positive yardage, about 3 yards, up across the 45-yard line. And those are the type of plays you're going to have to run right now. Taking them head on is going to be tough. So he gets up across the line of scrimmage, picked up about 3 or 4 yards after that first down loss when Ashby tried to run outside. So it's 3rd down and 9. They're going to have to come up with a long play here to get a first down. Morgan splits out right. 3 men split out left. Ashby's going to take it over center with Zach Smith behind him in the backfield. Ashby takes a snap, rolling to his left, looking to his left, throws to Johnson, who makes a catch. He's got a first down and more. Slips a tackle at the 40, to the 30, to the 25, to the 10. Touchdown, Timberwolves. No penalties. Well, just as I called it, you're going to have to throw outside with that rush up the middle. They did it twice, and in 2 plays they scored a touchdown. Like I said, it's pretty easy to coach from up here. So with 10:20 to go in the second quarter, the Timberwolves have scored. It's now 16-13. Beautiful run by Nathan Johnson after the catch. And Tyler Ashby with 2 long touchdown passes, 66 yards and a 58-yard touchdown pass. River Saunders now on to try the extra point. Fort Bragg getting right back in this game. Saunders' kick is up, and it's good. So with 10:20 to go here in the second quarter, it's Kelseyville 16, Fort Bragg 14. And we might have a game here. Ashby at quarterback is sharp on the passing game, and a nice run after the catch from Nathan Johnson. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this. Don't go away. All right, we're back with the kickoff. 10:20 to go in this first half. It's Kelseyville 16, Fort Bragg 14. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, MendocinoTV.com. River Saunders will kick it off for the Timberwolves. McLean and Duty both back to receive. And he kicks a ground ball taken by one of the up men at the 28 to the 30 to the 35. And Tadlock knocks him down at about the 40-yard line. So Timberwolves now, let's see if they can play some defense. That was Johnson, the return man for the Knights. Across the line of scrimmage, the Knights have Cy Epperson. He weighs 255 pounds. They have Mark Erickson. He weighs 275 pounds. They have Arredondo. He weighs 265 pounds. I'm just giving you an idea how big these guys are. And, of course, it's all behind the big guy, the offensive tackle, Cody McGuire, 280 pounds. That's a lot of beef. You don't say, where's the beef, when Kelseyville comes to town. So they're up to the line of scrimmage on offense again. Ball at their own 40-yard line. The give is to Duty, right side, and a nice tackle by Ashby that time after Duty picks up about 5 out to the 45-yard line, just going off the right tackle. So it'll be 2nd down and 5. Under 10 minutes to go first half. Kelseyville 16, Fort Bragg 14. I forgot the other lineman is Jameson Stein. He only weighs 235 pounds. Huge offensive line. I don't think I've ever seen a high school team with an offensive line this big. All right, fake. Give to Johnson, and he's got room on the right side, and he could go all the way to the 40, to the 30, to the 25. One man to beat. He runs right over Shane Tupper at the 10 and scores a touchdown for Kelseyville. Boy, a tough run that time from Justin Johnson. 5'9", 185. Ran right over Shane Tupper at the 10-yard line. Steamrolled him down, and it's now 22-14, and Kelseyville has come to play tonight. 9:21 to go in the half, and quickly they answered the Timberwolves score. I know St. Helena's got a good team, but I haven't seen Cloverdale. I'm kind of surprised that Kelseyville got beat by Cloverdale from what I'm seeing tonight. And again, they'll go for the 2-point conversion here, leading 22-14. Send a man in motion. They give it to him. That's McLean. He gives it to another man, and they fumble the ball. So too much trickery that time. I don't know that they really need that much trickery the way they're rolling, but they kind of hurt themselves on that one, and the extra point is no good. So with 9:21 to go in the half, it's Kelseyville 22, Fort Bragg 14. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. All right, I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We're back with the kickoff. The Timberwolves trailing 22-14. Kelseyville having just scored on a long run. All 3 touchdowns have been on long runs for Kelseyville. And as I've said throughout this game, the line of scrimmage totally controlled by the Knights. There used to be an old exercise that football coaches used to put a rope about 2 feet off the ground and make the linemen go at each other underneath that rope. And that's kind of what Fort Bragg has to think about. They've got to stay low on the line of scrimmage. If they stand up, they're going to get knocked down. Here's the kick, and this time he kicks it away. A deep kick. Nathan Johnson back to receive it. He's got it at his 10, to the 15, to the 20. He breaks a tackle. He's in the clear, up to the 40. Stiff arms a man and is still on his feet. Across the 45, still on his feet, up to midfield, and what a run from Nathan Johnson. It took 4 men to tackle him that time. And he struts back to the line of scrimmage with a little bit of swagger. So the Timberwolves huddle up as Ashby goes out with the play now. They'll take it right at midfield, 1st and 10. And that run back certainly ignited the crowd. For some reason, the officials are stopping action as they now will start it. Fort Bragg comes up with Johnson split out to the left. Ashby with Smith and Morgan behind him in the backfield. Tupper also split out here right. Tight end strong on the right side for the Timberwolves. Ashby fakes. Play action pass. Caught by Nathan Johnson up to the 30-yard line. 1st down, Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves are going to have to put the ball in the air, it looks like. And when you've got Zach Smith in the backfield, play action is very effective because every team Fort Bragg plays totally keys on number 28. If you need to use him as a decoy, that's what you need to do. And that time they faked the handoff and went deep, well, at least 20 yards downfield to complete the pass. 8:49 to go, first quarter. Kelseyville 22, Fort Bragg 14. Timberwolves up to the line of scrimmage. Ashby again in the shotgun. Got Tupper split out here to the right. Johnson out to the left. They give to Smith. Smith breaks a tackle but then is stopped. Up maybe about a 3-yard gain that time as Julius Nelson stuck with him. He broke the tackle for a moment, but Nelson brought him down. Also Johnson in on the stop for Kelseyville. So it'll be about, call it a 3-yard gain up to the 28-yard line from the 31. It'll be 2nd down and a long 7. Tupper and Morgan split out to the left. Tyvon also slotted inside them. 3 men out to the left. Johnson, the lone man, out here to the right. Smith behind Ashby over center. Ashby gives to Smith right up the middle. Breaks a tackle, trying to get outside. Breaks another tackle. He's inside the 20 for a 1st down. Down to the 17-yard line. Tough run from Zach Smith that time. McLean in on the stop. Also coming in there to make the stop was Julius Nelson, but I think Nelson may have got the worst of that one, as Smith, for a small running back, sure has a lot of power, and he showed it that time. First half, Kelseyville 22, Fort Bragg 14. If you just joined us, we're rebroadcasting this game on a Saturday morning on the Skunk FM. I'm Lindy Peters, and you're watching video on MendocinoTV.com. This has been a good game tonight. A lot of excitement for both teams. Now they have the spread formation with Zach Smith, the lone back at tailback. They give it to him, and he is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage and stopped. Making that stop is David Simonson for Kelseyville. No gain, maybe a loss. 2nd down and 11. Ball now back outside the 20, about to the 21-yard. Well, just at the 20. 7:12 to go in this first half. Timberwolves down in the red zone now with 2nd down and long, 2nd and 11. They have to get inside the 10 down to about the 8-yard line for a 1st down. Johnson splits out left. Ashby over center. 3 men split out to the right here now. Smith, the lone back behind Ashby over center. Ashby back to pass, looking for Johnson, left side. There's the pass. It's in the air, and it's intercepted, I think, in the end zone as Johnson cut inside, and Ashby threw it to the corner. Intercepted by Devin Duggar. Had Ashby thrown that to the corner, or had Johnson gone to the corner, I should say, I think he catches that pass. For some reason, he looked inside his left shoulder, going inside instead of cutting to the corner and looking over his other shoulder. And some miscommunication there, and I'm not sure who's responsible, but Ashby that time threw a pretty good pass. It was a corner route, and for some reason Johnson went back inside towards the post, and the result was an interception. So the turnover gives it back to Kelseyville, leading 22-14, 6:42 to go here in this first half. The Timberwolves have to get tough on defense now. There's a give for the Knights. That's Duty over the right side, and he picks up about 5 or 6 yards up to about the 26-yard line. Second down. And again, the line of scrimmage completely controlled by Kelseyville so far tonight. And if you just tuned in, I mentioned the size of these guys, 280, 255, 275, 265, and 235. And this is high school. Somebody's eating good over there in Kelseyville, I'll tell you what. So second down and about 4 yards to go for the Knights. Up to the line of scrimmage they come. And there's a give. That's McGuire out in front. Ashby takes him on, and a loss on the play, and a penalty flag comes flying in as Nelson is tackled for a loss. I'm not sure what the flag will be, but the official threw it from about the 50-yard line and threw about a 30-yard pass with his penalty flag. Well, if it's against Kelseyville, you might want to just take the play because it's going to be third down. Well, let's wait and sort this out.
Illegal use of hands, pushing the back.
Pushing the back called on the Knights. So it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. The Timberwolves will take the penalty. They'll replay the down. This will put the ball back at Kelseyville's 12-yard line. They'll need to get out to the 30-yard line for a first down, so it'll be second down and 18. 5:49 to go in the half. Kelseyville 22, Fort Bragg 14. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com, and it is one of those cold nights where a scarf, earmuffs, and a hat might be a requirement out here. I tell you, getting kind of chilly. Not for those kids on the field, though. This has been a well-played game. Fort Bragg trailing 22-14. All right, Lindahl over center, and one of the Knights moved that time. On the line that time was Jason Vaughn. Oh, I forgot to mention him. He's 6'4", 305 pounds. So false start will move the ball back even further, still be second down. Ball moving in the right direction for the Timberwolves, that's for sure. It's all the way back to the 8-yard line now. They have to get out to the 30-yard line for a first down, so it's second down and 22. Clock stops, 5:49 to go in the half. Kelseyville again leading 22-14. So Lindahl brings them up to the line of scrimmage. Two men split right. Backs in the backfield, two of them, Duty and McLean. They give it to McLean right side. He's got blocking, but nice play defensively by Tyler Ashby and Devin Morgan as they come up and make the stop before he gets outside. It looked like he had a pulling guard that time, but the defense was able to elude the blocking. They did pick up some good yardage out to the 15-yard line, about a 7-8 yard gain. It's going to set up third down and about 15. Now, this is in the part of the field where Kelseyville, if they're held, will no doubt have to punt. Ball at their own 15-yard line right now. They did get a good chunk of yardage on that play. They haven't really put the ball in the air much so far, the Knights. See if they do here. They lead it 22-14 in this first half, and the referees are going to stop the action. Was a timeout called? There was. Kelseyville's called a timeout. We'll take a timeout. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, rebroadcasting this game on a Saturday morning. Thanks for joining us. And we're on MendocinoTV.com with the video. We'll take a timeout and return here with this third down play after just a short timeout. Okay, here's the situation. 5:05 to go here in this first half. Fort Bragg trailing 22-14. Kelseyville has a third down and 15. The ball right at their own 15-yard line. They got to get to the 30-yard line for a first down. Duty and McLean back behind Lindahl. They send a man in motion. They give it to Duty. This has been their big play for the touchdown run, and he's up close to the first down, but he's going to be short to about the 28-yard line, setting up fourth down and 2. Now, do they go for it? Do they gamble? The way their line of scrimmage has been controlled by their offensive line, they might. I don't see any. Now, maybe they'll try and draw the Timberwolves offside with a hard count, or maybe they're actually going to go for it. Well, this is showing some moxie. If the Timberwolves are able to stop them here, they're going to have the ball in pretty good field position. Kelseyville must feel pretty confident, or they might be trying to draw them offsides initially. Man goes in motion. And now they use their last timeout. So I believe they might have just been trying to get the Timberwolves to jump, sending that man in motion. We'll see. Will they go for it? We'll find out here in just a moment. Again, we'll take a short break. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. It's going to be 4th and 3 when we come back. All right, now they have sent their punt unit out. The Knights have after that timeout. Zach Smith deep to receive. Duty is the punter, so be careful here on this 4th down play. He takes the snap. He kicks it away. It's a low kick. It's returnable. Smith has it at his 38, loses the football, breaks a tackle, gets to the 40, and is collared and tackled. Making the stop is Jonathan Smith that time. Zach gets it out to about the 42-yard line where the Timberwolves have it with 4:08 to go in this first half, trailing by 8. 22-14, Kelseyville in front. So the Timberwolves have it 1st and 10, the ball at their own 42-yard line. They've been able to pass the ball pretty well. The Knights are out of timeouts now, so Ashby brings them up to the line of scrimmage. For the Timberwolves, it's 1st and 10. Tupper split out right. 2 men in the backfield, split behind Ashby. Ashby, play action, fakes, back to pass. Now he's up, he's going to run. He's to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35. A nice block across the 30 and down to the 28-yard line as Tyler Ashby. Ashby rolled to his left. That was a pass all the way, but he saw some open field and broke over the left side and then back across the field to the right side before he was finally brought down. 1st and 10, the ball at the Kelseyville 32-yard line. 2 men split out. Backs are split. Ashby gives it to Smith, left side. Got some good yards as a penalty flag flies in. The Timberwolves, again, probably going to be guilty of holding. That would have been another 7-yard gain down to the 21-yard line. But would have, could have's are no good. That's going to be holding against the Timberwolves, and they're going to hurt themselves again. And that holding occurred close to the line of scrimmage, if not behind the line of scrimmage, because that 10-yard penalty is going to make it 1st down and further than 20 yards to go. It looks like about 21 yards to go. Well, that hurts when you're playing a team as big as Kelseyville and the yards are tough to get. You don't want to hurt yourself. Timberwolves just did. So it's still 1st down. Johnson starts out to the right now, comes into the tight end position on the right side. Ashby over center, takes a snap, looking to his left, throws a short pass caught by Ty Vaughn, but he's only going to get up to about the 30-yard line. They're still short of the original line of scrimmage, about a 7-yard pickup, but it's going to set up 2nd down and about 13. We'll watch the clock now. Kelseyville leading 22-14, 3:19 to go here in this first half. So it'll be 2nd down and 14. So they didn't even get their penalty yardage back on that play. And remember, that penalty negated a 7-yard gain down to the 20-yard line. So they have it right now at about the 28-yard line. Ashby over center, back to pass, looking to his right, rolling, throws back over the middle, a man open, caught, Tupper makes a catch, and is back across the 20 down to the 15-yard line. I believe that's going to be enough for a 1st down, depending on where they spot it. So the Timberwolves able to throw the football. Ashby with a beautiful read that time. That the hot receiver was the man running up the sideline. Instead, he was covered. He looked back, and there was Shane Tupper open over the middle, and a beautiful read by Ashby. He put the ball right there, and it's a 1st down Timberwolves. 2:43 to go first half. They trail 22-14. 1st down at the Kelseyville 15-yard line. Ashby with Morgan in the backfield along with Smith now. Tupper splits right. Johnson splits left. Ashby back to pass again. This time, Johnson running the corner route. He drops the football right at the goal line. Johnson a little upset at himself. Right on the money that time. That, I believe, was the route that Johnson was supposed to run the last time when the ball was intercepted. But the Timberwolves were able to hold Kelseyville and get the football back, and they've got a 2:25 to go here in this first half, trailing 22-14. 2nd down at the Kelseyville 15-yard line. Johnson splits out left. Morgan, Tupper, and Ty Vaughn split out right. Zach Smith, the lone back behind Ashby, over center. Ashby runs into Smith, trying to give him the football, and they fumble. And Kelseyville has it. They just ran into each other that time. As McGuire picks up the fumble, and the Timberwolves hurt themselves a little bit on that series twice, with the penalty and then with the fumble. So with 2:19 to go, Kelseyville gets it back, and they dodged a bullet there. So the defense now is going to have to hold again. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Knights. Again, Duty and McLean in the backfield behind Lindahl. They give it to the first man, or fake it to him, give it to the man swinging around the left side that time. That was Julius Nelson. He is stopped, but he did pick up some yardage out to about the 20. Or was it John? Not sure who the ball carrier was that time. I thought I had it right. The PA announcer mentioned somebody else's name, but anyway. It was Johnson, the ball carrier. A short gain. The Timberwolves defense trying to hold here. 1:48 to go in the half. Kelseyville 22, Fort Bragg 14. The Knights up to the line of scrimmage. McLean again in duty in the backfield. They send Johnson in motion, left to right. They give. Right up the middle goes Duty that time, close to the first down. I think he might have it. Or McLean, I'm sorry, the ball carrier. Those two very similar builds. And when they get into the line of scrimmage, if you don't see who got it right away, it's tough to see. But McLean was the ball carrier, and it is enough for a Kelseyville first down. Ball up to the 30-yard line. First and 10, Kelseyville. 1:27 to go in the half. Knights leading at 22-14. Two backs again. Duty and McLean behind Lindahl. And this time, Kelseyville jumps. And that'll be 5 yards the other way as Kelseyville hurts themselves. Well, if you just joined us, the Timberwolves had the first touchdown, a 66-yard pass from Tyler Ashby to Devin Morgan. Duty then ran it right up the middle for Kelseyville, and then it's been going back and forth. Nathan Johnson with a beautiful run after the catch scored a touchdown for the Timberwolves on their second touchdown. A long run from Johnson also for Kelseyville. Here's the give. That's McLean. He's in the open field, gets across the 30 up to the 35-yard line, but he's tackled that time. Smith made the stop, and Morgan also went on the stop. Short of the first down, Kelseyville under a minute to go, run up to the line of scrimmage now, trying to get off a quick play. Again, they're not putting the ball in the air, and they keep it on the ground again. They give it to McLean right side, trying to get outside to the right. He gets a first down, but he's out of bounds, stopping the clock with 37 seconds to go. In this first half, it's Kelseyville 22, Fort Bragg 14. The Knights are out of timeout. So if Fort Bragg can keep them in bounds on these running plays, the clock will continue to run. Chances are the Knights probably try and get it outside for that very reason. They're on the far hash mark now as they come up to the line of scrimmage. 37 seconds to go in this first half. Kelseyville leading 22-14. This time McLean splits way out here to the left. They send a man in motion. Now he lines up as a tight end on the right side. They put a man in motion, an empty backfield. So here comes a pass. Back to passes Lindahl, and he is hit and dropped. And they can't stop the clock now. They're out of timeouts. 32, 31, 30 seconds to go. Walter Ferreira was in on the stop for the Timberwolves. Smith also. They're going to get a playoff here. 18, 17 seconds to go in the half. Up to the line of scrimmage they come, and they stop the clock as they just take a snap and throw it into the ground. And with 13 seconds to go, the ball at about the Kelseyville, that is, 45-yard line. It's going to be third down now and about 8. So Kelseyville really keeping the ball on the ground pretty much the entire time in this first half, forced to put it in the air a little bit under these circumstances with the fact they're out of timeouts and trying to put something on the board before halftime. 13 seconds to go now. Lindahl takes a snap, gives it to Duty, trying to go right up the middle and successfully gets about 8 yards, and here's a penalty flag. With 7 seconds to go, the clock will stop. It would have just run down to halftime had there not been a penalty. So we'll see who the penalty's against.
We have no foul for illegal formation.
So
Clock operator, start the clock.
they're picking up the flag, and the referee will start the clock with 7 seconds to go, and Kelseyville won't have time to get a playoff. So that's going to do it. It's halftime here at Timberwolves Stadium. And you know what? It's a ball game. Even though Kelseyville seems to be in control, Fort Bragg's right in here. The score, it's the Knights 22, the Timberwolves 14. I'm Lindy Peters. We'll take a timeout here and be back with the second half. I'm broadcasting this game on a rebroadcast Saturday morning on the Skunk FM, and you're watching the video on MendocinoTV.com. We'll have the second half coming right up. All right, we're back here for the second half. I'm Lindy Peters for MendocinoTV.com and the Skunk FM. We're rebroadcasting this game on a Saturday morning. At halftime, it is Kelseyville 22, Fort Bragg 14. This rather large offensive line for the Kelseyville Knights, and defensive line for that matter, has pretty much controlled the line of scrimmage and thereby controlled the scoreboard so far. You give credit to the running backs, Duty and McLean, for Kelseyville. They're certainly fine running backs, but boy, have they got some beef out in front of them. And the Timberwolves defensively are going to have to try and stay a little bit lower, I think. Well, here we go as Saunders kicks off for the second half. It's a low kick, a bouncer, taken at the 10-yard line by Duty, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and is hit by Ty Vaughn, spins and still gets out across the 30-yard line, where it'll be first down for Kelseyville. This is definitely the coolest night as we've been broadcasting these games. It's getting colder by the minute as the crowd settles in here for the second half. 22-14, Kelseyville has a lead. They have the football to begin the second half. We play 12-minute quarters. Over the line of scrimmage comes Noah Lindahl, the quarterback. Again, he's got Duty and McLean behind him. Fakes, gives it to McLean over the left side. And decent gain. Johnson came up to make the stop. Maybe about a 4-yard pickup. Second down and 6. Ball at the 36-yard line. Kelseyville just underway here in the second half. The Knights have scored on 3 long touchdown runs. The Timberwolves have scored on 2 long touchdown passes. Fort Bragg has hurt themselves. They were in the red zone 3 times, 1 a missed field goal, 1 an interception, and 1 a fumble. So they have had their chances here tonight. They trail by 8. Kelseyville fumbles the football. It comes flying out of the packet. It's picked up by the Timberwolves. As McLean that time had it knocked away, Ty Vaughn made the stop and I believe caused the fumble. And the first big turnover for the Timberwolves have had another turnover earlier where they had it deep in Kelseyville territory. That's when they missed the field goal, but they get another turnover here. The ball right at about midfield. Well, I'm sorry, the ball at the 44-yard line at Kelseyville. Again, these sideline markers are obscured by players on the sideline, so I almost have to look to the far sideline to see where the ball's marked. It's at the Kelseyville 44. The Timberwolves have it. 1st and 10, trailing by 8. Over center is Ashby, giving it to Johnson. Sweep. He's got some blockers in front of him this time. Cuts back inside, breaks a tackle, and gets down to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Fort Bragg. No penalties. Nice run by Nathan Johnson that time. And that time the line got out in front of him. There were some blockers there. So Fort Bragg with a nice opportunity now. 1st and 10, the ball at the Kelseyville 20-yard line. Just underway here in this third quarter. Johnson and Morgan split out to the right. Smith in the slot. On the left side, he comes in motion. They give it to Smith, cutting inside, and gets down inside the 15-yard line to about the 14, picking up about 5 yards that time. Right at the 15, it'll be placed, and it'll be 2nd down and 5. Not sure if that play was designed to go outside or not, but Smith cut it inside and got some nice yardage. So the Timberwolves break the huddle. Ashby brings them up. Trailing 22-14, but they've got a golden opportunity now. 2nd and 5 at the 15-yard line at Kelseyville. After that fumble recovery, a nice play by Johnson and a nice run by Smith. Ashby over center. gives it to Smith. Left side, he's got some room. To the 10, to the 5. Oh, and there's a penalty flag as Morgan was blocking a man at the 5-yard line, and I bet it's coming back. That was thrown right at Morgan, and he's got palms up towards the sideline. But again, and there's the call, 15 or a 10-yard penalty. So it'll bring it, basically wipe out that run. Smith had a first down inside the 5-yard line. So many mistakes this year by the Timberwolves, and they're just killing themselves. So it's now 2nd down and 7, the ball out to the 17-yard line. There was no cause for that, blocking a guy at the 5-yard line when the ball was already right there. But it is high school football. So Ashby now out of the shotgun. Fakes it to Smith, keeps it himself, right up the middle he goes, gets up inside the 15 to the 13-yard line, setting up 3rd down and about 3. They can get a first down inside the 10-yard line. They have it at about the 13 or 14. It's spotted actually at the 14, so it'll be 3rd down and 4. But again, that first down play was wiped out by a holding call. They would have had it 1st and goal at the 5. They are in 4-down territory. Vaughn and Tupper split out to the right. Johnson and Morgan split out left. Smith, the lone back behind Ashby. He's in the shotgun. Ashby takes a snap, looks to his right, throws a swing pass out to Vaughn. He makes the catch. He's got a first down inside the 10 and is dragged out of bounds and thrown by Julius Nelson on the far sideline, but not before a first down. And those are the type of plays, again, quick swing passes, screen passes, maybe a draw play. When you've got a huge offensive line that's very aggressive, the thing to do is to run plays like that. Coach Roy Perkins knows that well. It's the execution that needs to take place out on the field, and a nice play that time. First down, Timberwolves, 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Ashby giving it to Johnson, trying the left side, and he is stopped that time by Julius Nelson at about the line of scrimmage. Didn't pick up much. Johnson trying the left side that time. We're just underway here in the 3rd quarter, 8:40 to go. Kelseyville 22, Fort Bragg 14. Lindy Peters rebroadcasting this game on the Skunk FM. The Timberwolves now 2nd and goal. The ball at the 7-yard line of Kelseyville. They're trying to get themselves back into this game. They've overcome a big penalty just a moment ago. 2 men split right, 2 men split left. Smith, the lone back behind Ashby at quarterback. The spread formation. Ashby's going to take it and run left side. And he's got to cut back inside, and he's tackled for a loss at about the 8 or 9-yard line. Duty in there, McLean in there, also McGuire. Ashby has to get his uniform back over his shoulder pad. And now it's going to be 3rd and goal, back at the 9-yard line. Timberwolves have had a lot of success passing. Running outside hasn't been all that successful. Passing swing passes has. We have not seen a screen pass yet tonight. All right, Smith at tailback now with Ashby over center. Pro set formation. There's a pass. It's caught at the 5. It's Tupper. Breaks a tackle, dives forward, but he's short of the goal line. He's going to be down to about the 3-yard line as Tupper with a nice catch that time. Ashby with a good quick throw to the wide receiver, but it's going to be short, and it's going to be 4th down. And basically you're in 2-point conversion range. You're right at the 3-yard line on the far hash mark. And the Timberwolves are going to call a timeout. Fort Bragg trailing 22-14, 7:09 to go, 3rd quarter. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM at MendocinoTV.com will take a timeout as Coach Roy Perkins heads out onto the field for this big 4th down play to talk to his team. We'll return here in just a moment. Okay, the timeout now is over. The Timberwolves getting their final instructions from Coach Perkins out on the field. It's 4th and goal. Fort Bragg trails 22-14. We're in the 3rd quarter, 7:09 to go. So what do you run here? Well, you're on the far hash mark. You got Zach Smith in the backfield. He's in the I formation. 3 men split left, 1 man splits right. They give it to Smith. They pitch it to him left side. He's getting a block, a beautiful block from Tupper. He's in. Touchdown Timberwolves as Shane Tupper blocked McLean and blocked him good. So good that McLean is on the field at about the 17-yard line. He might have a leg cramp. Beautiful block from Shane Tupper that time. Broke that for the touchdown. And the man he was blocking, like I said, is limping. Hopefully he's okay. You hate to see a kid hurt no matter which team he's on. It looks like a cramp, though, as McLean, the running back, is limping, favoring his right leg Fort Bragg now with the touchdown from Zach Smith. It's 22-20 as they go for the two-point conversion and the tie. And now the officials call a timeout, I think, because of the injury, as McLean still limping. He had outside containment, and Shane Tupper with a beautiful block, and I'm not sure what happened that time, but McLean is still limping as he leaves the field. Into the game comes Eugene Mitchell for Kelseyville with a pretty clean uniform. So the Timberwolves now with a chance to tie it. 7:01 to go third quarter as Zach Smith runs it in from 3 yards out. It's now 22-20 Kelseyville. Here comes the two-point conversion now. Vaughn and Smith are in the backfield behind Ashby over center. Johnson splits left, Morgan splits right. Ashby takes a snap, fakes to Smith, looking left. Boy, he's in trouble. He's rolling to his right, throws, and it's caught. And he's in. The extra point is good. Shane Tupper with a beautiful catch came back to meet that pass just like a basketball player would come back to meet the pass. And he was in the end zone when he caught it. He was tackled pushing back out of the end zone, but the official right there on the goal line calls it good. Hey, how about that? The score with 7:01 to go third quarter. It's Kelseyville 22. It's Fort Bragg 22. We'll be back with a kickoff here as the siren goes at Timberwolves Stadium, igniting this home crowd under the lights. We're back with the kickoff now. McLean is out there back to return the kickoff. Probably was a cramp in his leg. He's back there with Kevin Duty as River Saunders tees it up. 22-22. We're all tied up here at Timberwolves Stadium in this third quarter. Saunders kicks a ground ball, picked up by Johnson at the 25 to the 30 to the 35, and down he goes across the 35 at about the 37-yard line where Kelseyville will have it 1st and 10. Now let's see if this Timberwolves defense can hold. They recovered a fumble that time. They overcame a big penalty and scored on a 4th down play to tie this game up. So now their defense has to hold. One thing when you have a huge offensive line, oftentimes the bigger you are, the more tired you get at the end of a game. But we'll see. All tied up. There's the give. And Ferreira makes the stop in the backfield, and Smith comes and finishes him off as Julius Nelson, the ball carrier that time, and a loss on the play. Back to about the 35-yard line, so it's about a 2-yard loss, 2nd down and 12. Now, again, Kelseyville has not thrown the football much. They have not shown much, if any, of a passing game. And should they get behind, and should they have long yardage situation, at some point they're going to have to put the ball in the air. Can Noah Lindahl throw it? We're going to find out, maybe. Or maybe they'll just keep running the ball. They've got the beef to do it up front. Duty and McLean back behind Lindahl. There's the give to Duty. And he is horse-collared and tackled down at the 40-yard line. Short gain that time. Nathan Johnson and Shane Tupper combined on the stop. So it's going to set up 3rd and long. 3rd down and about 8. 6 minutes to go third quarter. 22-22. We're all tied up. Good game tonight. Glad you've joined us here on the rebroadcast on the Skunk FM. And if you're watching the video, hope you're enjoying it on MendocinoTV.com. Big 3rd down play for the Timberwolves defense now. 2 men split way out to the right. Lindahl over quarterback with Duty and McLean in the backfield behind him. The give is to Duty, and he is stopped short of the 1st down. As Zach Smith comes up to stop him that time at about the 42-yard line, maybe call it the 43, it's going to set up 4th down and 5. And you would think with the ball on their side of the 50-yard line that the Knights will punt. And Duty, who does double duty, if I might add, as their running back and their punter, is back in punt formation. Zach Smith back to receive it for the Timberwolves, who have brought this crowd alive here in the second half. There's the snap. Duty gets a punt away. It's a low ground ball punt. Smith watches it bounce a couple times and then walks away and lets Kelseyville down it. The Timberwolves will have it 1st and 10. The ball at their own 24-yard line. So the offense back on the field for Fort Bragg. 4:52 to go, third quarter. Fort Bragg 22, Kelseyville 22. The junior varsity team from Fort Bragg won in the opener 20-6. After losing last week to Middletown, and that was their first loss of the season, they rebounded nicely tonight here at home. The varsity tied 22-22. Three men split out here to the left for Tyler Ashby. Nathan Johnson splits out to the right. Smith, the lone back. Ashby takes the snap, gives it to Smith. Right up the middle he goes, and still on his feet as he breaks a couple of tackles. He's not going to get a lot of yardage, but it was tough yardage. Maybe picked up 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Ball at the 26-yard line of Fort Bragg. Good game so far tonight. Both teams playing well. Tyler Ashby's had a nice passing game when they've chose to throw the football. He's got 2 touchdown passes, one 66 yards and one 58 yards. Up to the line of scrimmage, he brings the team now over center with 1 man split left, 2 men in the backfield split behind him. Back to pass he goes. He's in trouble. He rolls to his right. Now he's going to run. He's got some room across the 30. Cuts inside to the 35. First down and fumbles the ball. But I believe he was down. The official blew him down. The ground caused the fumble that time. But it's a first down for the Timberwolves across the 37-yard line. First down, as you heard the official call it over the microphone at the Timberwolves 39-yard line. So a big first down. Tyler Ashby rolled to his right and was in trouble that time and took off running. Again, when you've got big men, they can control the line of scrimmage, but there's not a lot of speed. And if you've got the wide receivers taking the DBs and the linebackers downfield, you can get some good yardage if you take off scrambling, and Ashby has done it a couple of times tonight. Out of the shotgun this time. Tyler takes the snap. Fakes to Smith. No, he gives it to Smith, and he's hit immediately in the backfield by McGuire. And those are the kind of plays that aren't very effective against this big, huge Kelseyville defensive line. If you try and run between the tackles, you're in trouble because they are definitely controlling the line of scrimmage. Loss of about 4, 2nd down and 14. Fort Bragg hasn't tried too many trick plays, any reverses or end arounds or anything like that. Those kind of plays take a while to develop, and with, like I said, the line of scrimmage being controlled by Kelseyville, that might not be the best thing to try. So, out of the shotgun, Ashby. This time they do a little reverse, and they give it to a man, Ty Vaughn, and he's got room across the 50 to the 45 of Kelseyville and down to the 43-yard line before Jonathan Smith tackles him. Well, just as I was saying, you might not have the time in the backfield to get a trick play off. The Timberwolves pull one off. The ball originally a fake to the right and then an end around as Ty Vaughn came around to take the handoff from Ashby and ran across the left side of the scrimmage and got upfield for a nice gain. 1st and 10 at the Kelseyville 44. 22-22. 2:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Tupper splits way out to the right now. Ashby with Morgan and Smith split in the backfield behind him. Johnson split out left. They give it to Zach Smith. Right up the middle he goes. Breaks a tackle to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. 1 man to beat. Lowers his head and bowls him over. Touchdown, Timberwolves. Zach Smith took Julius Nelson on and ran over him like Pompili, Spain. The bull ran him over. That could have been the play of the season inside the 10-yard line as Zach Smith said, "Come on, try and tackle me." Lowers his shoulder and runs him over. And if you're watching the video, you could see that. The Timberwolves take the lead, 28-22. Saunders on now for the extra point. That's about as excited as I've been this year. There's a snap. The spot's down. The kick is up. It's got the distance, and it's good. And with 2:21 to go in the 3rd quarter, the Fort Bragg Timberwolves have scored and have taken the lead. It's Fort Bragg 28, Kelseyville 22. What a game, and what a touchdown run from Zach Smith. That one covered about 38 yards, and like I said, he actually looked for the man trying to tackle him, lowered his shoulder, and simply ran him over. So now the defense for the Timberwolves is going to have to stiffen up again because Kelseyville has showed that they can score from anywhere on the field with both Kevin Duty and Robert McLean in the backfield. Saunders, we'll keep it right here. Saunders has been kicking the ball off, keeping it away from those 2 return guys, just as his coach instructed him to before the game. So the Timberwolves will kick it off now, leading 29-22. They haven't led since early on in this game when they took a 7-0 lead. There's the kick. It's a low kick. Duty's going to pick it up at his 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, going up the left sideline to the 30, cuts it back inside and is tackled at the 34-yard line. I think that was Ty Vaughn that made the stop on special teams. So Kelseyville will have it first down. Decent field position, the ball at their own 33-yard line. Now trailing by 6. Lindahl gets the play from Coach McGuire on the sideline and comes out to the huddle. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Knights. They've got a double tight end formation this time. 2 backs, McLean and Duty. They give it to Duty left side, and he's going to get some decent yardage out to about the 40-yard line. Actually dives forward and gets close to the first down. It looked like he was initially stopped at about the 40, but it looks like he's got a first down and a nice first down play for Kelseyville. Ibarra came up and made the stop for the Timberwolves. It might be just short of the first down marker, or they might call for a measurement. It's right at the 43-yard line. It's going to be just short of the first down, second down. Minute 38 to go, third quarter. We'll keep our eye on the clock now. 29-22, Fort Bragg has the lead. Knights up to the line of scrimmage with 1 man now behind Lindahl. A guy goes in motion. They give it to him. That's Johnson. He's got a first down and more. He's got blocking up the left sideline to the 40, and down he goes at the Timberwolves 30. We're right at the 40-yard line. First down, Kelseyville. Man came in motion, Johnson that time, and took the handoff and a nice run. So Kelseyville right away runs the football down to the Timberwolves 40-yard line. Minute 13 to go, third quarter. 29-22, Fort Bragg with the lead. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Fort Bragg's defense now with the task of holding the Knights. 1 back behind Lindahl. This is McLean in motion, and a procedure penalty against Kelseyville is going to, or a false start. It's going to make it first down and 15. All right, here we go. First and 15 now. The Kelseyville Knights, after that 5-yard penalty, back to the 45-yard line. Under a minute to go in this third quarter now as the clock continues to run. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Knights. 1 man in the backfield. This is McLean in motion. They give it to Duty. Right up the middle he goes and gets about 7 yards inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. That is probably going to be the last play of this third quarter, which so far has favored the Timberwolves. They have scored 2 unanswered touchdowns and have taken the lead 29-22 after trailing at halftime 22-14. So Kelseyville doesn't look like they're going to get a playoff here. They get to the huddle, but when they come up to the line of scrimmage, the horn's going to sound, and that's it. The end of the third quarter. It's Fort Bragg 29, Kelseyville 22. What a game. Hope you're enjoying it here on the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. I'm Lindy Peters. We'll be back with the last 12 minutes of this exciting high school football game in just a moment. All right, we're back with the fourth quarter. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. It's going to be second down and 8 for Kelseyville. The ball at the Timberwolves 38-yard line. Lindahl over center. Duty in the backfield behind him. McLean comes in motion. They give it to Duty. He goes right up the middle, and he breaks a tackle, still on his feet, still running, and is bull tackled by 3 Timberwolves, but he gets a first down inside the 20, down to the Timberwolves 18, as Kevin Duty runs very well between the tackles. He is tough to bring down. Once he gets his steam rolling, he is a good running back. So it's first down, Kelseyville at the Timberwolves 18-yard line. We're just underway, fourth quarter. Fort Bragg 29, Kelseyville 22. Kelseyville generally goes for 2 points, so it'll be interesting to see if they do get into the end zone, what they do. Man, McLean in motion. Again, the give, same play to Duty, same results. He's got a good yardage situation as he gets close to a first down inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line. Exact same play, right over left tackle that time. They send McLean in motion to the right, and Then they run it back the other direction to the left right off tackle, and it's been a very successful play. They scored their first touchdown on that play, and that particular play early in this first quarter, Duty went in untouched. So it's second down now and 4. The ball at the 12-yard line of the Timberwolves. Up to the line of scrimmage comes the Knights. One man splits out right. Duty, the lone back. The give is to Duty, right side. Got a hole, he's in. Touchdown, Kelseyville. Went right over the right tackle that time and able to score a touchdown. Almost untouched that time as well if you watched it on the video. So with 10:42 to go here in this fourth quarter, Kelseyville has scored. It's 29-28. And the Knights will go for 2 points. And I don't have to tell you, this is a big play for the Timberwolves. If they stop them, they're still going to have the lead. If they don't, Kelseyville takes the lead. Real seesaw game tonight. McLean, the lone back behind Lindahl. Johnson comes in motion, and they give it to McLean, and he is, well, I don't know if he got in or not. No good. The Timberwolves have stopped the extra point. He kind of rolled in after he was tackled, and Kelseyville is thwarted on their 2-point conversion, so it's Fort Bragg 29, Kelseyville 28. And we still have plenty of time in this game. We're just underway in the fourth quarter, 10:42 to go. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We'll take a timeout and come back with a kickoff right after this. All right, here we go. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM, MendocinoTV.com at Timberwolves Stadium. We're rebroadcasting this game Saturday morning on your radio. Thanks for joining us, and you're watching video on MendocinoTV.com. Anywhere, anytime you have a streaming device, you can watch the action, and there's been a lot of it tonight. 29-28, the Timberwolves with the lead, and Kelseyville to kick it off. Thomas Graham will kick it off. Johnson and Smith to receive. Graham, little grounder, picked up by Morgan, an up man. He's at the 30 to the 40 and across the 40 to the 44, where the Timberwolves have it in decent field position. So it's 1st and 10, Fort Bragg. Now, with the lead, they need to really hope that they can add to it, and if not, they at least need to take a lot of time off the clock. And the one thing they have to stay away from right now is mistakes. They can't afford a big mistake here. They've got to play clean football, and they've got to hold on to the football. A turnover or a big penalty could really do some damage. Up to the line of scrimmage comes Ashby. Johnson split right, 3 men split out to the left. Smith, the lone back behind him. They give it to Smith. Quick pop up the middle, breaks a tackle, gets across the 45 out to the close to the 50-yard line, about a 5-yard, maybe a 6-yard gain. Call it 5. It'll be second down and 5. Ball just short of midfield at the 49-yard line. Boy, I tell you what, Smith gets a lot of yardage on his own. That last touchdown he scored was, in my opinion, the play of the year. Not because it was such a long run, but just such a tough run. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Timberwolves. Second down and 5. Johnson splits right, Johnson splits left, Morgan right. Backs in the I formation. The give is to Smith, and he's through across the 50 down to the 45, close to the first down. Depends where they mark it. Looked to me like his initial progress got him past the first down marker, but the chain gang, they're on the far side of the field. We'll see. Pretty close anyway. It's going to either be a first down or it's going to be third and very short. And timeout for a measurement as the chain gang will come across. We'll keep it right here. This has been the most exciting game of the year so far. Both these teams very well matched. Again, I'm surprised that Kelseyville has lost a couple of games. They're a very strong football team. Fort Bragg last week getting thumped in Middletown, but they were without their starting quarterback, Tyler Ashby, such a big part of this team. And you have to give credit to Middletown. There's the first down. Timberwolves give credit to Middletown last week, but Fort Bragg was playing without their full strength. So hard to say if the game would have changed much, but it would have been a closer game. There's no question about that. And Kelseyville, to me, looks like they can hang with just about anybody. So 1st and 10 Timberwolves. The ball at the Kelseyville 46-yard line. They lead 29-28, 9:21 to go in the game. Tupper splits right, Johnson splits left, 2 backs behind Ashby. He fakes it to Smith, keeps it on the read option, doesn't pitch it, instead runs across the 40 down to the 39, picking up about 5 yards. He had Morgan trailing him. That was a read option play that time. He faked it to Smith, kept it himself, had Morgan as an option to pitch it to, but kept it and picked up 5 yards down to the Kelseyville 39-yard line. Nice play that time. Had Ashby given it to Smith, there wasn't much there. Call it a 6-yard gain, 2nd down and 4. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Timberwolves. 3 men split left. Morgan lone by himself split out to the right. Ashby pitches it to Smith, trying to get a left side. Gets to the 40. Stiff arms him out at the 35. To the 30. To the 25. To the 20. Bowls a guy over again. And gets inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Just a beautiful run by Zach Smith that time. Again, running over a man on the far sideline. 1st and goal for the Timberwolves down to the 8-yard line of Kelseyville. And a golden opportunity for the Timberwolves now once again. The clock continues to run. He didn't quite get out of bounds. We're 8:52 left in the game. That sound effect, by the way, was, I think, a chainsaw, although it may have sounded like something else if our mics picked it up. 1st and goal for the Timberwolves at the 8-yard line. Smith in the backfield with Ty Vaughn. They give it to Smith. Up the middle he goes. Still on his feet. Dives forward. Close to the goal line. Down to about the 1-yard line. And Zach Smith is really running tough tonight. Usually he'll get into the open field and just break away. But tonight, even though he's a small running back, he has just been running over people. So 2nd down and goal. The ball at about the 1-yard line. 8 minutes to go in this game. Fort Bragg leading 29-28. Trying to add to it here. And they've really come out in the second half, and so far, so good for the Timberwolves. 2nd and goal now. Ashby keeps it himself, and right up the middle, he's in. Touchdown, Timberwolves. And with 7:53 to go in the game, it's Fort Bragg 35, Kelseyville 28. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM. MendocinoTV.com will keep it right here. And Tyler Ashby makes such a big difference. When he wasn't playing last week, they just didn't seem like the same team out there. There's a snap, spots down, Saunders' kick is up. It's got the distance, and it is good. And the score with 7:53 to go in the game, it is Fort Bragg 36. Kelseyville 28. We're going to take a little break. Hey, we'll come back with an exciting finish here. It could be the last team to have the football wins this game. We'll find out. I'm Lindy Peters. Stick around. The kickoff coming up. Lindy Peters here for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com as the Timberwolves have taken a 36-28 lead. Remember, they trailed at halftime 22-14. And they recovered a fumble on the first offensive series for Kelseyville in the 3rd quarter, and it's been all Fort Bragg pretty much since then, although Kelseyville has scored a touchdown. There's a low kick by Saunders, and Duty's going to pick it up. It's off his shin. He picks it up at the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Nathan Johnson trying to tackle him, tried an arm tackle. Fumble! Timberwolves have it! I think Gaby Barra looked like he dove on the football, but let's wait and see. Nope, Kelseyville's got it. Duty recovered his own fumble, and he gets it at the 36-yard line. Boy, that would have been a huge play for Fort Bragg, but Duty with a fine fumble recovery. I tell you what, I thought Gaby Barra looked like he dove on the football, but Duty under the pile must have grabbed it away from him, or maybe he didn't quite fall on it and recover it, and with the loose ball, Duty did a fine job getting it back. So it's 1st and 10, Kelseyville. 7:45 to go in the game. We'll watch the clock. Up to the line of scrimmage comes Lindahl. They've, again, just a running team. There's the give to Johnson. The big guy goes around the right side. He's got some room across the 40 to the 45, out to the 1st down marker at about the 48-yard line. Maybe not quite a 1st down. I think he's going to be a little short. It depends on the mark, but I think it's going to be on 2nd down and short. 36-28, Fort Bragg leading. So if Kelseyville can score, they've been making 2-point conversions. They could tie this game up, and they're certainly capable of doing it from anywhere on the field with either Duty or McLean. McLean in the slot. This is where he usually goes in motion now from that position. Duty, the lone back behind. And there's a give to Johnson, left side. There's a penalty flag. This one's going to come back, I think. Johnson's going to get good yardage down to the 30 to the 29-yard line, but there are 3 penalties on the play, and it looked like the springing block was a hold. But we'll see. That might have been why he was able to get outside so easily that time. They're looking, I believe, for the Timberwolves captain. That's the call, holding against Kelseyville. So what would have been second down and short, I believe that spot of the foul was right at about the line of scrimmage. So it's going to go back. It's going to be second down and about 9 yards to go for the Knights. I knew that would happen at least once tonight, and it just did. Kelseyville Knights. 6:49 to go in the game. A little bit of a wind starting to pick up now, adding a chill factor to the already crisp fall night here at Timberwolves Stadium. Knights, second down and 9 now. Duty again, the lone back behind Lindahl. Man comes in motion, Nelson. Long snap count as if they're trying to draw the Timberwolves off sides, and I think it's a timeout, Kelseyville. It is. A timeout on the field with 6:26 to go in the game. Fort Bragg 36, Kelseyville 28. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Stick around. We'll be back here following this timeout. 6:26 to go in the game. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. Fort Bragg leading 36-28. Kelseyville Knights trying to come back in this game, have it second down at their own 40 or 38-yard line. There's a give and a beautiful read on defense by Tyler Aspie as he breaks through and tackles McLean in the backfield as soon as he had the handoff. And now it's going to be third down and long for Kelseyville. Clock continues to run. That's one thing about a running team. When they keep the ball on the ground, the clock continues to run unless they go out of bounds. So it'll be third down and 12 now. And the Knights, again, have not shown much of a passing game. And they get into passing situations, and you see what happens here. Of course, with Duty and McLean, there is no passing situation. Those guys can run 10 yards on every play. And here is the give, and coming is McLean, left side, and he's got a first down and more as he's tackled from behind by Devin Morgan. And just tough running by McLean that time. Morgan was able to bring him down, but not before McLean did get a first down at midfield. So a big first down for Kelseyville. 5:37 to go in the game. Fort Bragg 36, Kelseyville 28. Nelson goes out. Johnson comes in for Kelseyville as Lindahl comes back to the huddle and runs the play. Duty in the backfield. McLean slotted right side. Here comes Johnson in motion. They give it to him right side. Duty out in front trying to make a tackle, and getting him from behind was Vaughn slowing him up. Ibarra slowed him up. Vaughn finished him off. Not a whole lot that time, maybe a couple of yards. So it'll be second down and 8. Under 5 minutes to go in the game. Fort Bragg 36, Kelseyville 28. Again, you're listening to a rebroadcast of this game on the Skunk FM and watching the video on MendocinoTV.com. I'm Lindy Peters. We've had a great game here tonight. Both teams have played very well. They're both very well coached. They both got great players at the skill positions. And it's been fun to watch. All right, Lindahl gives it to McLean, and he is tackled. But again, he gets some extra yardage after the initial hit and gets up across the 45 down to the Timberwolves 44-yard line. 4:20 to go in the game. So it'll be third down and about 4 now for Kelseyville. In Timberwolf territory now with 4:06 to go in the game and counting down. I think Kelseyville's only tried one pass so far tonight. So third down now. Lindahl sends a man in motion. Ashby tried to jump the line of scrimmage, and he's going to be called for offsides that time. So it'll be 5 yards and a freebie first down for the Knights. Down to the 38-yard line. So it's first down Kelseyville, and a mistake that time for Fort Bragg. And the biggest mistake is it stops the clock with 3:49 to go. The clock is the Timberwolves' best friend right now, leading 36-28. Fort Bragg's defense needs to come up with a big play. If they can get the football back, they can try and run some time off the clock. They don't need to score. They've got the lead. What they need to do is come up with a stop or a turnover here. So Lindahl over center now for Kelseyville on first down. Gets the snap, gives it to McLean, and he's got some positive yardage again over the right side. Picks up about 5 to the Timberwolves' 34-yard line, where it'll be second down and 5. 3:18, 3:17, 3:16 to go in the game. I'm sure Kelseyville would just try and take as much time as they can off the clock if they think they can score. And, of course, you always got to think you can score, and they certainly have showed the propensity to do that tonight from anywhere. Second and 5. There's the snap. Give to Duty, right side. Still on his feet. And breaks the tackle. He's in. Touchdown, Kelseyville. I just said they could score from anywhere, and they just did. And Duty showed himself as a tough runner, too, as he ran over somebody. Didn't see who that was. Didn't get a number. I think it was Morgan, but simply just ran over somebody on his way. There's still plenty of time left. 2:47 to go. 36-34. Kelseyville trailing by 2. I don't have to tell you how big this two-point conversion is right now. So after that run by Duty, my guess is if I'm the coach for Kelseyville, I'm going to call number 8's number. But we'll see. They won't throw the ball. I can guarantee you that. It's going to be a run. Duty in the backfield along with McLean. There's Duty. He's got the ball, and he's in. So we're tied. 2:47 to go. 36-36. The Timberwolves still have time. Plenty of time on the clock to get in the end zone themselves. And even though they probably figured that number 8 was going to get the football, they couldn't stop him that time. You go back to the Timberwolves at one point had a field goal. It was a long one, a 35-yarder that River Saunders just didn't kick well. He's certainly got the leg to kick a field goal that long, but that was a missed opportunity for the Timberwolves to score. And now with 2:47 to go in the game, we're tied 36-36. Overtime is a possibility. But the way these two teams have gone at it tonight, you'd figure it'd be a pretty even match once Fort Bragg came out in the second half and played so well. So we're going to keep it right here as Thomas Graham gets set to kick off. He's been kicking ground balls. Boy, watch out for an onside kick. The Timberwolves only have 3 men up, 10 yards from the football. I don't know. I would bring a few more guys up. Now they do. And Graham kicks it, tries an onside kick, and it's out of bounds. So Fort Bragg will have it right at their own 48-yard line with 2:47 to go. I'm not sure if that was a deliberate kick out of bounds or an onside kick attempt. So we'll keep it right here as Fort Bragg gets ready now to have it on offense. Tie game, 36-36. So it'll be first down Timberwolves at their own 48-yard line. They've got 52 yards to go with 2:47 to go on the clock, tied 36-36. Vaughn and Smith in the backfield in the I formation behind Tyler Ashby. Johnson splits right. Morgan splits out to the left. They give it to Smith, and he is tackled. Didn't get much that time, maybe across midfield to about the Kelseyville 49-yard line. Maybe a yard gain, second down and 9. Well, one thing the Timberwolves have to do is get a first down or two. Well, obviously, they'd like to get a touchdown. But if nothing else, they've got to keep the football here and keep it away from Kelseyville in this tie game. 2:27 to go. Clock is running. Johnson splits right. Morgan splits out to the left. Vaughn and Smith in the I formation behind Ashby. Ashby gives it to Smith again. And he is breaking one tackle. Gets up to the 35, to the 30. Or 35 it is, and he's out of bounds at the Kelseyville 36-yard line. Again, it's across the field, and far away are those yard markers from me, and I had him a little further downfield than he actually got. He did get to the 36-yard line, and that is a first down for the Timberwolves. So with 2:09 to go, the clock stops for the chain gang to move it up, and Fort Bragg comes up to the line of scrimmage. Johnson splitting right. Smith, the lone back behind Ashby. Two men split left. Ashby over center, takes a snap, gives it to Smith, right side, gets outside. He's got some room, gets a good Smith for Johnson with a good block to the 20, to the 10. He's tackled at the 6-yard line with 2 minutes to go in the game. Nathan Johnson with a great block. And Zach Smith, another fine run, takes it inside the 10. First and goal for the Timberwolves at the 8-yard line. Now they have to really be careful of any penalties at this point. Mistake-free is the way to go. With 2 minutes to go, tied 36-36. Here we go as Ashby breaks the huddle and brings him up. Smith, the lone back. Johnson splits right. No, actually, Ty Vaughn's back there with him in the I formation. The up back is Vaughn. Smith, the tailback. Ashby over center, takes the snap, gives it to Smith, breaks through the left side, up to the 5, and he's bull tackled down by about 4 of the Kelseyville Knights at about the 5 or 6 yard line. 150, 149 to go in the game. Second and goal now, right at the 5-yard line, just outside the 5-yard line. Fort Bragg trying to get the go-ahead touchdown in with 1:36 to go in this game. 36-36. What a game. Hope you've enjoyed it. Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. I formation again. Johnson splits right. Morgan splits left. Vaughn in the up back. The give to Smith. The tailback. Left side. He's through. He's in. Touchdown, Timberwolves. And Zach Smith, with 1:18 to go in the game, has given the Timberwolves the lead. It's Fort Bragg 42, Kelseyville 36. But there's still 1:18 to go in the game. So the Fort Bragg Timberwolves will go for the extra point now. As River Saunders will be, well, we got a timeout. The Timberwolves have called a timeout with 1:18 to go in the game. They have just scored the go-ahead touchdown as Fort Bragg 42, Kelseyville 36. We'll keep it right here. Well, the Timberwolves, who fell behind at halftime 22-14, came out in the second half. They took the lead. Kelseyville came back and tied it up just a few minutes back, and with 2:47 to go, Fort Bragg had the ball after the kickoff at their own 48-yard line, and it's been Zach Smith after that. A beautiful run to the left, a beautiful run to the right, and then into the end zone he goes moments ago to give the Timberwolves a 6-point lead, 42-36. I think Coach Perkins might be thinking about a 2-point conversion here. He's got the lead. Kelseyville has been very successful with their 2-point conversions. They haven't tried a kick. And the way they've been running the football, they're going to have to run the football. Now, I believe they still have a timeout, maybe 2 timeouts left. 2 timeouts left. I know they've called at least one. And it looks like the Timberwolves are going to go for 2 points. So Tyler Ashby with the backs in the I formation, Smith in the tailback position, Vaughn in front of him. They're going to go for 2 points here with 1:18 to go, leading 42-36. Vaughn rolls out. There's a pass to Ty Vaughn. He's there. 2-point conversion is good. They faked it to Smith, and Vaughn, the fullback, went out to the right side. I do see a penalty flag. I tell you what, as an old Oakland Raider fan, as a kid growing up, the first thing I always do is look for a penalty flag on a touchdown. And let's see if this is coming back. It is. So the Timberwolves going to have a 5-yard penalty, and they're going to have to replay the PAT. So no time off the clock, but what turned out to be a nice 2-point conversion on that play. That play would work again. Kelseyville will probably be ready for it this time, but it was so open. Vaughn was wide open, and Tyler Ashby with another nice time, a nice night of passing the football. We're going to take a timeout. There's a timeout on the field. 1:18 to go still. Fort Bragg 42, Kelseyville 36. Our final timeout. We'll be back and finish up this game in just a moment. All right, after the timeout, now the Timberwolves come out with the ball at the 7-yard line. So they need to get 7 yards in to get this two-point conversion, leading 42-36. Backs now split behind Tyler Ashby. 2-man split out here to the right. Ashby takes a snap, rolling to his right, throws it to Vaughn. He makes a catch. He's hit. He breaks the tackle. He's in. He ran right through the arms of Vic Perez, and a nice run by Ty Vaughn after the completion, and he's in. So it's Fort Bragg 44, Kelseyville 36, an 8-point lead with 1:18 to go in the game. Don't go away. We'll keep it right here. The way the Kelseyville Knights have run the football tonight, both Duty and McLean, very tough to tackle. They've got every right to think they could get back and tie this game up. And the Timberwolves, meanwhile, have to make some sure tackles. Kelseyville does have 2 timeouts left, so they can stop the clock. River Saunders will kick it off, and we'll keep it right here as he gets ready to tee it up at the 40-yard line. Duty back to receive it, along with McLean. McLean still sort of favoring that right leg. Not sure he's at 100%. Duty, though, is at 110% tonight. Keep it away from him. So Saunders gets ready to kick it off. Here's the kick, and it's a low ground ball kick. It's going to be taken by Duty at the 25 to the 30. Right through Ibarra. He goes right through another man and out of bounds to stop the clock. Boy, is he tough to tackle. Tadlock and Ibarra both just got run over by Duty. You can't arm tackle him, that's for sure. You got to put a body in front of him. You've got to wrap your arms around him. You've got to hit him low. 1:13 to go in the game. Fort Bragg 44, Kelseyville 36. Kelseyville has it at their own 38-yard line, first down. And again, they'll probably run the football. They have not thrown the ball but once tonight. Duty, the lone back in the tailback slot. He goes in motion. Well, they might throw it here. No men behind him. And Lindahl takes a snap, and a flag is down. I believe there might have been a motion call against Kelseyville. That's the call. It's false start. So with 1:11 to go, that was an odd play. They sent a man in motion, and I believe he ran forward before. If you're in motion, you got to stay lateral as you go in motion. And it looked like he started upfield before the ball snapped. You can do that in Canadian football. You can't do it here. So Kelseyville now with 1:11 to go, trailing 44-36. They have the football. You can hear the Timberwolves crowd chanting defense now. Duty in the backfield. McLean slotted left. He'll probably come in motion. No, instead it's Johnson in motion. They give it to Duty, and he breaks a tackle. No, he throws. They faked me out. It's incomplete. I thought they gave it to Duty. Beautiful play action from Lindahl, but his pass is incomplete. Intended downfield that time for Rewerts. And the clock stops with 1:04 to go. So it'll be 2nd down and 15. Beautiful play action from Lindahl that time. I'm not the hardest guy to fake out, but I got faked out nicely, but the Timberwolves stuck with him that time. So Kelseyville comes up now 2nd and 15. Lindahl sends McLean in motion, gives it to Duty. He's right up the middle. He's still on his feet. He has dropped across the 45, close to the first down at about the 46-yard line. The clock stops as Kelseyville calls a timeout with 57 seconds left in the game. 44-36. Fort Bragg with the lead. I'm Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. We will take a timeout here. Kelseyville has one more timeout after this. We'll come back and finish up this exciting game in just a moment. All right, 57 seconds to go. 57 seconds to go in the game. Fort Bragg leading 44-36 over the Kelseyville Knights. Glad you've joined us, Lindy Peters for the Skunk FM and MendocinoTV.com. What a game. Both teams can hang their head high after this one. Duty, the lone back behind Lindahl. A man splits left, two men split right. Lindahl with the snap. Back to pass. Got some time. Now he's getting a little pressure. Now he rolls to his left. Now he's going to try and run, and he runs out of bounds. Oh, don't tackle him. Stupid play. Oh, well, if you're on the radio, a man was out of bounds. He deliberately ran out of bounds, and one of the Timberwolves tackled him out of bounds. That was Tyler Moorhead, and gosh almighty, that's 15 yards, and that gives Kelseyville some life and puts them right down into Fort Bragg territory. The dumbest play of the year right there. As a coach, there's nothing you can do about that. And as a kid, you know, I guess I don't know what he was thinking. Kid tried to run out of bounds, was trying to get out of bounds, so it's now first down at the Timberwolves' 30-yard line. I know there's 47 seconds left to go, so it's going to still be a tough finish, but here we go. Lindahl with some life now. Back to the line of scrimmage. They give it to Duty, and there he goes. There he goes. Vaughn finally saves the tackle down to the 15-yard line, and that 15-yard penalty was a terrible, terrible mistake. Can the Timberwolves recover? We'll find out. We'll keep it right here as the Knights have taken a timeout. It might come down to the two-point conversion because Kelseyville is now right down there at the 15-yard line. Boy, I tell you what, that tackle out of bounds was just if Fort Bragg wins the game, number 77 will sleep tonight. If they don't, he might be tossing and turning all night. Tyler Moorhead, just a junior. And Lindahl had run out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Or actually more like about the 45-yard line, and he was clearly out of bounds. He had purposely run out of bounds, and Moorhead chases him out of bounds and tackles him 5 yards out of bounds. Anyway, first down at the 15-yard line. 42 seconds to go in the game. Kelseyville has used their last timeout. They cannot stop the clock. So here come the Knights. Lindahl with Duty in the backfield. McLean also in the backfield on the slot. The pitch to Duty, right side. He's trying to get outside to the right. And he is hit and out of bounds. Now just don't touch him there. Out of bounds he goes with 35 seconds to go. Maybe picked up a couple. Gets it down to about the 12-yard line. But the clock stops. Call it the 13-yard line. 35 seconds to go in the game. Kelseyville out of timeout, so they're probably going to have to run it wide. Now they're on the far hash mark. If I'm guessing from the defense, they're probably going to run it to the left. You never know. They could go right up the middle with Duty. He's a lone back. Lindahl takes the snap, fakes, throws. The guy's wide open. Touchdown, Kelseyville. As Tyler Rewerts makes the catch and a beautiful play action. As Kelseyville, who hasn't thrown the ball more than a few times tonight, gets a touchdown. So here we go. It's a two-point conversion with 31 seconds to go in the game. 44-42 right now. And it all comes down to this two-point conversion. You've got a key on number 8. I don't think they'll fake to him and throw it this time. You've just got a key on Duty. He's in the backfield along with McLean. Lindahl takes it, pitches it to McLean instead, and he stopped! He stopped! Ty Vaughn with a saving tackle! And with 27 seconds to go, Fort Bragg 44, Kelseyville 42. And Tyler Moorhead can feel a whole lot better. Vaughn read the play, and he's had some great plays on defense this year. That was the biggest. That was the best. Surprised they called McLean's number that time, but Duty was the blocking back. But Vaughn slipped behind him. Duty leading the way. Vaughn slipped behind him and tackled McLean in the backfield for a loss. And what a play. 27 seconds to go. So you know what's going to happen. It's called an onside kick. You know it's coming. Can they pull it off? We'll see. Timberwolves have to have their good pair of hands up there on the line of scrimmage. I'd put maybe one or two guys kind of deep and put everybody else 10 yards off the football at about the Timberwolves' 45-yard line. This is something that high school teams probably don't practice that much, the onside kick. Maybe some of them do. And, a football doesn't bounce like a soccer ball, so you never really know what's going to happen. But Ashby's up there. Smith is up there. Morgan's up there. Ty Vaughn is up there. One man is deep as Graham gets ready to kick it off with 27 seconds to go. Here comes the onside kick. It's got to go 10 yards. It's got to go to at least midfield. And there's the kick. It's bouncing. It's touched by the Knights before it went 10 yards, and the recovery's made by the Timberwolves anyway as Tadlock falls on it. But it hit one of the Knights. I thought it was down right where it hits one of the Knights, even if it doesn't go 10 yards. It doesn't matter. The Timberwolves have the football. Kelseyville cannot stop the clock. They're out of timeouts. And with 27 seconds to go, this game is in the books. Fort Bragg will win it 44-42. It's all over but the screaming and the shouting. First and 10, Fort Bragg. All they have to do is get down on a knee. Tyler Ashby should take the snap and go down on a knee, and that'll do it. That's the only play they have to run. There's 27 seconds to go. So here we go. Fort Bragg will run out the clock here as Ashby takes the snap, takes a knee, and that'll do it. The final from Timberwolves Stadium. And an exciting, thrilling finish. The Fort Bragg Timberwolves have held off a classy team from Kelseyville who came over here and played a great game. Hats off to the Kelseyville Knights. They just came up 2 points short tonight. And the Timberwolves, with a much-needed win in a very even-fought battle, have come from behind in the second half to win it. The final from Timberwolves Stadium. Fort Bragg 44, Kelseyville 42. I'm Lindy Peters for MendocinoTV.com and the Skunk FM. Thanks for joining us, everybody. What a thrilling game. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.